In 13.5, we take a look at financial investments, and we're looking only at two of the investments they talk about in this particular section. We're looking at stocks and bonds. So again, I have shortened the homework so it only covers stocks and bonds, and the quiz only covers stocks and bonds. Okay, we'll start with stocks, and it says buying a stock in a corporation makes you a part owner of the corporation. You share in the profits of the corporation through dividends, and very often these are paid quarterly. The net profit you make for selling for more than you paid is called capital gain. If you sell for a loss, it is called capital loss. The return on your investment is the difference between what you receive, that includes the dividends, and what you paid. Okay, now there is a stock table on page 737 in the text. It's called Table 9, and basically the exercises we're looking at here are using that particular table. So you have to find the appropriate column for each stock. So in number 2, they ask for the sales for the day for FedEx, and they want to know the number of shares. So if you look in Table 9, Table 9 gives you the shares, and that's hundreds of shares. So you have to multiply that number by 100. That gives you 3,862,100 for the sales of FedEx shares for that day. Number 4, you're looking for the closing price for Sara Lee, so you want to find the right column for that. It's $14.24 per share. And it's worth noting that until a short time ago, these prices were given with fractions rather than decimals, so it has been simplified by changing to decimal format. Number 6, the 52-week low for Walt Disney. And if you check that, you need to find the right column again. It is $22.05, and that's per share. Number 8, the opening price for Bank of America. Again, we have to find the correct column for that. That's $15.50 per share. Number 10, the percent change for Caterpillar Incorporated. And you'll notice it's a minus 5.48. So that means it's down 5.48%. So it's less, 5.48% less than it was at the opening. The year-to-date change for Yum Brands, it's positive 16.8%, which means it's up 16.8%, or it shows that it's 16.8% more than it was. Percentage yield for Chevron, again, we have to find the correct column. It's 4.04%. Number 16, we want to know the cost of 100 shares of Sara Lee. At closing, we take 100 times the closing price, which is what we found back in number 4. 100 times 1424 gives us $1,424. Okay, so that's reading the pages, stock page. Okay, the price of the share of stock is determined by the law of supply and demand at institutions called stock exchanges. PE is the price to earnings ratio, which is the current price per share divided by the earnings per share over the last 12 months. So PE is something you may hear bantered about, or you may read about when you're looking at stocks. Most stock purchases and sales are done through a broker who has representatives at the exchange to execute a buy or sell order. Full service brokers who offer research, professional opinions on buying and selling, as well as other services, tend to charge the most on the transactions they execute. Discount brokers merely buy and sell for their clients, offering little in the way of additional services. So that's the different types of brokers. Commissions are normally set as a percentage of the value of the purchase or sale. The value of the purchase or sale is called the principal. There's a table at the top of page 728 that shows typical discount commission structure. Okay, it just shows an example of one. And so we use that to calculate some problems. In number 20, and we're still using that table 6 that we started with, we're buying GIS 70 shares, and it's a broker assisted buy. So we multiply 70 times the closing price. That's what they're using on all of these. And then there is a $65 fee plus 0.66% of the principal. So we have the 70 times 73.30 gives us $51.31, plus the $65 fee, plus 0.066 times the $51.31 gives us $5,229.86. So the broker is actually making the let me get my pen, the right one here, on a red. The broker is actually making this money. That's the broker's fee, or fees, I should say. Okay, now number 32. This time, Kimball, 2,740 shares. This is an automated sell, so we need to use that second table on page 728 to see what charges are incurred for an automated sale. Actually, this also came from that table, so that's where that's coming from. Okay, so we first of all calculate the price, $27.40 times the $60.18. Now, this is the broker's fee. And then there's a securities fee. And that's down underneath the table. And I missed it the first time, so I kept getting the wrong answer. So you want, the way it's calculated, you take the number of thousands in the principal. So we take that and divide it by 1,000. To get the number of thousands and multiply by 0.0169. So that's where that's coming. So that's under the table on page 728. So that's where that fee is coming from. Yeah, I kept wondering why I was off by quite a bit. So stock, you are a part owner in the company. Now, how do you figure your return on a bond investment? In the case of a stock, you're a part owner in the company. In the case of a bond, you're making a loan to the company. So when this bond matures, the company pays back the amount borrowed. But over the term of the loan, the company pays interest that is calculated on a fixed interest rate. And typically that interest is divided up over the term of the loan and paid twice a year. And I didn't say over the term of the loan. Notice we're using simple interest formula to determine the return on a bond. So in number 44, we have FV, which is the face value. So that's how much money is being loaned to this individual, $50,000 at 4.8, or this company at 4.88% for 6 months. So This is what your return is based on, that rate and that time period. So the interest is calculated, the $50,000 times 0.0488 times 6/12 or 1/2 comes up with $1,220. So since that is paid about twice a year, actually in this case you would get that after 6 months. So after 6 months they would pay the $50,000 and also the interest, the $1,220. And that's as far as we'll go in this section. Now there is more information in here if you're interested in mutual funds. That would be something you can look at, and they have a couple of other things, other types of investments for retirement that you may want to look at. I decided that this kind of gave us an idea of a couple, and I decided just to stop at this point rather than going on into the rest of this section. So again, I adjusted the homework on 13.5, and the quiz only covers the parts we have done, the stocks and bonds. So you should be ready at this point to go ahead and work on the homework, the online homework for section 13.5. Again, I did not do sample problems since I worked so many problems in the lecture.